I just got these 2 boxes filled with so much amazing RPG stuff that I had to make a video about it. So let's take a look at Mouseritter. I've got 2 Mouseritter box sets that just came in, and I'm so excited about this game. I just love these boxes so much. The first box here has the rule book and everything else you need to play the game. And this second box, the one that I'm really excited to get into, is the Estate Adventure Collection. We'll take a look at this in a minute, but I do want to show off this Mouseritter Swords and Whiskers role-playing box set. So I talked a little bit about Mouseritter on the channel before. I absolutely love this game and have been dying to run it. And I've been waiting for these Kickstarter boxes to show up before I did. But now that they're here, it's only a matter of time. So anyway, here is the rule book. It's a beautiful little hardcover book. It's got a cutout in the cover. Like, how awesome is that? And I think that just goes to show that there has been a lot of consideration that has gone into the design of this game, both visually, mechanically, and physically. Like, you'll see there's a lot of really cool stuff that come in these boxes. So I should say this game is by Isaac Williams. Wonderful author, designer, and illustrator. I think he illustrated basically everything in this box set, if I'm not mistaken. You know, you can immediately tell when flipping through and looking at the artwork what has inspired this mice adventure role-playing game. I'm going to do just a quick flip through of the rule book. If you'd like to see a more in-depth look into Mouseritter and these box sets, there's a link down in the description to a Questing Beasts Ben Milton video where he takes a look at everything in these boxes. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the adventures, but I did want to give a nice flip through of the rule book, which I think is just an amazing rule book. The examples of play are so perfect, and really the rules are just so simple. It's a D20 roll under system. There's 3 stats. It's super easy to make up monsters. I guess I haven't even really said what this game is. You play as a mouse adventuring out in the world. So because you're a mouse, everything is super huge and scary and very dangerous. I think this is a very easy game to die in because, you know, if you're a mouse and you run up to a cat, it's basically like a big dragon that's gonna eat you. So yeah, the rules take up barely anything in the rule book, and then there's even a little adventure setting in the back. I just want to jump forward and show you all the cool stuff that comes in this box. And I also think that'll help explain kind of how the game works too. So this is a wonderful fold out GM screen. Look at the artwork. Look at the artwork, dude. It's on that nice thick matte paper too. I just love it so much. All of the aesthetics really speak to me, and making something like this box is definitely a dream on my creative to-do list. So yeah, you can see here on the back of the GM screen, the rules are basically just right here. There's some stuff for hirelings, but then everything else on this is just resources to help you fill out your game. You know, non-player mice names, a bunch of items, treasure, all the helpful things that you would need on the back of a GM screen. This box also comes with the Honey in the Rafters adventure, and this format, this is just a little trifold format, description on the back, adventure hooks, and then some treasure tables, encounters here, and then a diagram of the dungeon, which is actually just a shack with some sunflowers out front. But this format is how everything is laid out in the estate box that I'm gonna get into. Super cool. Also comes with a pad of character sheets, and check out the character sheets. 3 stats, HP, an inventory system, and this is what I think is so cool. You have what you're carrying, what you're wearing, and then a few extra slots here. And if I skip ahead, there's a rules reference sheet for the players, a turn tracker, and a marker to keep track of things. But then there's these. This is the equipment in the game. It's like board game pieces. It's thick chipboard pieces that are scored so you can pop these pieces out. It's got armor, weapons, more weapons, little runes that are magic spells, rations and torches. And then the really cool thing is there are conditions, and when your mouse becomes frightened, you have to pop one of these out and it takes up a spot on your inventory. There's extra items for the Honey and the Raptors adventure when you're playing that. Just so much cool stuff. Okay, so that's a very, very quick look at this box. Hopefully it gives you a little bit of an idea of what the game is about. But let's get into what I'm really excited about, and that is the Estate Adventure Collection. So this box includes adventures by 11 different authors and illustrators, and they're all loosely tied together. So these adventures all take place on the estate. Actually, let me show you here. It comes with a map of the estate, and it's unlabeled, so you can give this to your players. But each of these locations is a different spot for your mice to adventure and explore, and most of them correspond to these adventures. So before I jump into those, there's this little companion guidebook. It has the map and a really quick explanation of each of the adventures and how they correspond to each of the spots. And it also outlines Brickport, which is maybe the starting town or like a home base kind of town where your mice can be from and go back to rest and hire their hirelings and all that stuff. It outlines some other places, some factions, and then ways to connect all the adventures together so you can run the adventures to fill out an entire Mouseritter campaign. Okay, so let me move some of this stuff off to the side and let's go through some of these adventures. So first up is the Ticking Tower. Now, what I think is so cool about these pamphlet adventures is how easy they are to pick up and run. So if my mice players decide they want to go explore this grandfather clock inside the estate, I can grab the Ticking Tower pamphlet, pop it open, and run it right away. So actually, let me show you the back of the pamphlet first. So each one of these little one-shot adventure pamphlets has a description of the adventure on the back. So in this case, it describes this grandfather clock, the little machines inside, and then the Spider Queen Zippera, who has become obsessed with the clock tower's magic and is trying to use it to become immortal. There's also adventure hooks, so if your players need a reason to go there, there's some ways to get them to go to the clock tower. And then we open it up to see some treasure and some conditions. So each adventure has its own set of conditions that your mice can succumb to. There are random encounters and then the actual enemies that your mice will have to deal with. So the Clockwork Golem or Queen Zippera herself. Really simple descriptions that would make this very, very easy to run at the table. And then we'll open it up even further here. There's a map of the tower, just a wonderful map that would help you describe the areas, but then also each of the areas is listed out right here. And like I said, everything is laid out super simply, super easy. Like this is everything I would need to run this dungeon right here on a single page. Super cool. All right, let's check out the next adventure. So the Tower of Soot by Lazy Lich, same format, description, adventure hooks. This one's really cool. It's basically like a rescue mission where you gotta go into the big bedroom and then escape through the chimney before the humans return. In this one, there's a timetable of events, all of the different bugs that you have to dodge inside the chimney. It's got really nice, easy, brief descriptions of how to get into the bedroom, treasure, the map. Really lovely stuff. The Wizards of Arms and Armor by Amanda Lee Frank. This one is about a wizard mouse who has taken up residence inside a suit of armor. He lives up in the helm of this suit of armor. And as you can see, these are all laid out very similarly. Just amazing map of the suit of armor. And then all of the locations inside. There's the silver printing. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but silver printing on this one, just amazing. Next up is Science and Sorrow by my dude Nate Treme. I still don't know how to say his last name, but look at that green, dude. I think all of these are like 2 Pantone colors, so the printing is just perfect. This one is an adventure about a mutated two-headed rat that lives in the sewers underneath the garden shed. Check out the map, dude. So good. And you know what? As I'm looking at these, I'm realizing something. So when I go to plan an adventure that I would run, you know, whether it's Mouseritter or some other game, this is kind of how I prepare for running a game, right? So I think of my concept, in this case, a bunch of household cleaning liquids, soap and bleach and dishwash all get mixed together and start mutating some rats. And two skulls, the mutated two-headed rat forms a cult that the mice will have to deal with. You know, so I would write out my concept like this, right? And then maybe I would need some adventure hooks if I didn't have a way to get my players interested in the game that I was running. But then you look here, and it's just a simple list of encounters. I would list out all of the monsters that the players would face, you know, gooey rat slime, spitting pillbugs, carnivorous toads, cyclops snapping turtle. Oh man, that's not something a mouse would want to run into. Wants to escape from the tunnels back to its pond. Maybe you can ally with the cyclops snapping turtle. Two Skulls, the leader, lab cultists, like everything just written out. Maybe I wouldn't go so crazy with the stats, but you know, you need the stats to run the monsters. Got a list of treasures, and in this game, the conditions are super important, so you can be melted by all of the gunk inside this sewer. And then I would work out a map. Now, maybe I wouldn't go to the full detail that Nate has gone here, but I would probably sketch out a map and then label each room and make a list of the stuff that's inside those rooms. You know, just a couple of lines of what's going on. So in the glowing pearl, blue light glows at the bottom of the deep pool, resembles a pearl, but it's really the glowing eye of the cyclops snapping turtle. If you investigate further, there's some dead adventurers that lie within the pool, maybe some treasure, and that's all it is for this room, right? And for myself, just a simple list like this is all I need, and that's everything here in this pamphlet. It's so perfect and concise, and there's so many of these things. Workers work, rulers rule by Skull Fungus. Check out this stinking map. Check it out. Look at that map. In this adventure, a deadly fungus has corrupted the Moth Queen. You can get fungal powers, big ears, spore breath, pet shadow pod, like super cool stuff. And besides these adventures being obviously very easy to run, I think what makes this collection so cool is that I think in all of these pamphlets, the author is also the illustrator, but you get to really see what kind of adventures they're all about. So like fungus and Moth Queen, corrupted, cool fungal powers, like perfect Skull Fungus adventure. Next up, we have the Chapel of Eternal Peace by Diogo Nogueira. I absolutely love everything that Diogo makes. I will definitely be talking about his game Primal Quest at some point on the channel, but for now, the Chapel of Eternal Peace. So this adventure is a fun one. There is this golden fur, a priest type mouse who is converting mice to his priestly order and bringing them to this old rundown chapel that is on the estate grounds. And as your mice explore, they realize that Golden Fur is actually sacrificing mice to Sabrina the Black Cat. What a stinking jerk. Golden Fur. But I mean, perfect adventure. All of the flavor and the encounters and the descriptions, totally a Diogo style adventure. The Ember Tree by LFOSR, another person I'm a big fan of their stuff. This adventure is super cool. Lightning strikes a tree and there's this weird gemstone in the middle of the tree that is causing problems. There's a bunch of bugs and a lightning elemental in this tree to explore. I know I keep saying it over and over again, but just perfectly laid out map, description of each of the rooms, what's actually going on with the Ember Gem, and you can actually put it in your inventory and try to get rid of it, plus some treasure, just everything you need right here in the Ember Tree. Next up is Giant Snake in the Sewer. It's a... Guys, I'm sorry, it's a Ninja Turtles thing. It's by Gnarled Monster, another person I'm a huge fan of. At this point, you get the idea of the layout, but look at the map. Look at the map, dude. In this adventure, a group of mice went down into the sewer and they stumbled upon this snake who is actually part of the dungeon. Things went horribly wrong. There's magic involved. There's a witch, Ursula, who's actually still living inside the snake. There's skeleton mice roaming around. Of course, there's a bunch of bugs. Just like an adventure that I made, you have to go inside the snake into its jaws and gullet and stomach. And then at the end, an unpleasant exit. Just so awesome. There's Botticelli, the sewer ninja. I mean, come on, right? It's just so cool how this format is so nice, but you get so much flavor and it feels authorial, if that's the right word, especially with each of the authors also illustrating, each of the adventures looks super different. Song of the Frogacol by Emma Acosta. This one is super cool. It's almost like a Mad Max race to get to the pond where the frog oracle will bless the winners of the race. So if you get first place, the players can ask 3 questions and the GM must answer them truthfully. And each mouse gets 1,000 monies, whatever the pips. I think pips are the money in Mouseritter. Lovely little adventure here. Fruit of the orchard, a magpie steals away the heart of the princess or queen's best friend, and it's up to the mice to go retrieve the silver heart from the magpie. There's all these different locations you can go to kind of prepare for entering the magpie's nest. There's also a bunch of rotten pumpkins and apples that are alive because the magic and the brambles all haywire because of the stolen heart. Every one of these adventures has something really awesome to offer. And lastly, Bodhi, my dude Bodhi, the Mush Rush. Another spectacular, crazy dung beetle adventure inside a bunch of giant mushrooms. There's a giant earthworm named Reginald. What more can you ask for? This orange and green contrasting color gives this gross vibe that is just totally perfect with infiltrating the home of these dung beetle tunnelers and rollers. Just so excellent. By having all of these different writers and artists contribute to a box like this, you really get such a unique feeling collection of adventures. It's really special. Okay, let me show you what else comes in this box, because that's not all. If 12 adventures isn't enough. There's also backpack envelopes that your players can use to keep their character sheet and inventory or condition tokens. And this box is filled with a bunch more items to give to your players, and they're all color-coded to the adventures. So this green one's gotta be the Mush Rush. All of the different items you can find, a ceremonial dagger, a silver ladle, tumblefolk egg, and then the conditions so you can get sludge-coated in this adventure. There's chitin armor, like just so cool, dude. And it even looks like the illustrators illustrated all of their tokens too. This is the kind of extra stuff that I just can't wait to bust out and actually play this game. Lastly is a little map that you can give to your players for the Frogacol adventure race. This is just another little helpful extra to contribute to one of the amazing adventures in this box. Okay, that was a really in-depth look at the Estate Mouseritter box set and a brief look at the normal Mouseritter box set. Like I said, Ben Milton at Questing Beasts did a video if you want to see more Mouseritter stuff, but really I just suggest you go buy the box sets. I'll have links to them down in the descriptions where you can get them. I really just can't speak highly enough about these 2 boxes, the attention to detail, the design. It's all just so wonderful, and I just can't wait to play this game. Okay, if you'd like to support this channel, check out my Patreon, where every month I make a new tabletop role-playing game adventure zine. This month, July, I'm going to be making a zine all about exploring dungeons. So check it out if you want to get a fun zine in the mail or in your inbox. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you think of Mouseritter, and if there's any other games or fun box sets like this that I should check out. I super appreciate all the feedback that I get down in the comments. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!